Hello, this is C.H.E.K. Welcome back to my video blog. Today I thought I would share something real simple. Doesn't require a lot of technical knowledge or equipment at all to do. As long as you've got a mat you can put on the ground and a body, you have the equipment. This is rolling and wiggling your way into balance. These techniques can be used to easily unblock joints that are stuck, to free up trapped emotional energy, to get energy to move through your chakra systems and your meridians very simply and very naturally. Now, anything that I show here, if you have any injury or anything that you think might not be a good idea to do these techniques with, then simply don't do it. You have to use some discretion on your own. Generally, these are quite simple to do. And when I go into the wiggling or shaking technique, you can adjust that to be as gentle or as vigorous as you want, depending on how you feel and your own knowledge of yourself. So I'm going to show you in this video blog how to do some simple things on the ground, and then I'm going to stand up and show you some techniques. And these techniques are actually referred to as shaking medicine. They're used by medicine men, shaman, and people like that at various locations around the world. They have a history through tribal societies. And actually, if you study Peter Levine's work on trauma, he talks about how animals shake like this after they've been trauma to reset the system and help clear the trauma, so it can actually have some beneficial effects for trauma healing. So what I'll do is I'll start with the gentle stuff, which I recommend, and then once you have that done, you can move into the more vigorous shaking techniques. This is a simple technique. Now, this isn't like a stretching session specifically where you're stretching your hamstrings, your butt, your pecs, or whatever. And it's not even a specific mobilization session. This is really taking time to bring your mind down into your body and just let your body guide you and go with your instincts, your intuition, your feelings. And when you get relaxed enough, oftentimes your body will just guide you. It's as though there's a magic force pulling you around. For those of you that like to smoke marijuana, some good indica, which helps you get into your body more, is often an aid to feeling your feelings more. And feeling, we just had a little gopher walk right through the set. I don't know if you saw it, but we have friends out here. Those types of supplements can aid your ability to feel yourself better. So if you're into that kind of thing, there's a good application for it. So what we're going to do is, now this isn't a technique, it's more intuition. I'm just going to lay down on the ground, and I'm going to just let my body go where it wants to go. So right now, my feeling is I want to go this way, and I'll just roll with it and see what happens. Now, I have an old neck injury, so this position takes a lot of pressure off my C7T1, C6-7 junction, and you'll find that you can create leverage points. So, for example, if you want a little more traction on your neck, then getting your shoulder under your neck allows your head to hang, and then by rolling and just allowing my muscles to release and the fascia to relax and lengthen, which takes time. You don't want to move quickly with fascia release. And then as my body tells me, I just roll a little more and just follow the impulse of the body. And then I may have the urge to bring my leg up and roll this way. And now I feel a rotational stretch all the way back through the thoracolumbar fascia into the hip. And I'll just lay there and let that guide me. And you'll find when you're in some of these postures that you can enhance the stretch by just taking a deep diaphragmatic breath. So when I'm down here like this, if I take a deep breath, it expands the body from the inside, so it aids the stretch. And then as I exhale, I let my body fall into whatever position it wants to be in. Another technique, this is part of my infant development training that's safe for anybody to use. Now I'm just showing you the process. There isn't a technique, it's about following your body. So if you do exactly what I do, it may not do anything good for you, but it's about getting down on the ground and spending time within yourself and learning to listen to your inner body. And as you practice that, you start becoming much more aware of the feelings you're repressing, such as anger or fear or guilt or shame or whatever you might be holding in there. And you start noticing it really messes your body up, so you can learn to heal the body from all the emotional baggage by working with it, and then using many other techniques, some of which I've talked about on my blogs, and a lot of which we teach in the Holistic Lifestyle Coaching program and CHEK programs, and stuff that's available through other experts. You can work on the emotional side of it too, so you don't just keep filling the body full of the junk that we should be processing and healing from. So another technique that has some good reflex effect on you, positive reflex effect, is just to roll up into a ball in the fetal position, grab a hold of your knees, and then just rock. And just, it doesn't have to be vigorous or crazy, it's just a gentle rocking. And then rolling, and just letting your body take you where it wants to go. My body wants to be here right now. I've been doing some heavy lifting lately, so I'm tight, and this is where my body wants me to go. And I feel the urge to bring this leg up. And now I'm going to take a deep breath. And as I exhale, I'm going to let gravity, and I can feel a lot of tension through the sciatic distribution and piriformis area in here. And then I'll just find where my body wants to go next, which it feels like it wants to be in this position, like I'm kicking a ball. Big breath. Remember, whenever you inhale, you activate all the muscles that pull you out of the fetal position. When you exhale, the muscles turn on that draw you into the fetal position. So you can use the breathing to help activate and relax muscles like you would with contract, relax stretching. So to keep the video from being too long, the general concept is get on the ground. Do some of that fetal rolling like I showed. Give yourself a chance to just lay on the ground and just feel what your body's telling you. And with that connection, allow yourself to just start moving wherever your body wants you to go. Once you've got yourself to where you feel like you're not bound up anymore, then it's time to get into some shaking medicine, which can get very vigorous and excite you a lot. So let's get into some shaking medicine right now. So now that we've done the initial simple stuff on the ground, the gentle stuff, the shaking techniques are fairly simple. You know, what you want to do is just start wiggling, and where you start or how you start, you can use rotation, you can use front to back. Rotation's the key catalyst, and rotation's the key catalyst of movement in all synovial joints in the human body. But you can just start gently. I like to start down at my pelvis and think of wiggling at your ankles. And just as you get that ankle wiggling, just let it start coming up your body, and then you can change the pace. So you might want to go a little faster, and then just as you're doing that, what I'm doing is I'm feeling, as I'm moving my spine in this serpentine movement, I'm feeling, where is there blockage? Where do I have a hard time getting that natural serpentine movement through my spine? And then think of it like a rusty hinge. You take a little WD-40 and you just keep wiggling it, and it loosens up. You have a synovial lining around synovial joints, and your joints are synovial joints. And the lining, when you bring a joint to end range of motion, where you feel that range stop, when the joint surfaces get to the end range, it squeezes synovium out of the synovial lining, so it actually does act like that WD-40. And you can work through a lot of these things, and the action of moving the joints around increases proprioception, and proprioceptive neurons travel several times faster than pain-sensitive neurons. So when you're doing these kinds of shaking techniques, which I will do more of in a minute, you're actually flooding the brain with information about movement. And because it comes in much faster, it crowds out nociceptive or pain-sensitive inputs, which has the effect of decreasing what's called the pain spasm cycle. Pain causes muscles to tighten up and spasm. So when you start getting these kind of wiggling and shaking movements going on, and you get a lot of proprioceptive inflow coming through the body, then the brain does not have the awareness of the pain, and that happens also at the spinal cord level. So it reflexively shuts down muscles, shuts down the reflex input to muscles, and the tension decreases and the spasm decreases. And when I was a competitive fighter, this was very natural. You see lots of fighters before they get in the ring shaking just like that. And in fact, we used to call it shaking out. We'd get together as a team on the boxing team, and we would get on a wrestling mat, and we would shake out and do exactly what I'm teaching you here. And it really enhances fluidity of movement and speed, and even your ability to respond reflexively, because you don't have internal resistance in the system. So now, doing it like I do it on my own without having to talk, I just let my body guide me, and it can be very, very vigorous, or it can be gentle. So I'll just see what my body wants to do. And that's the other thing. It's not an intellectually driven process. Oh, I got to do this knee or that knee, or this hip or that hip, and this speed. It's about letting your mind go and bringing your consciousness down into your body and just feeling your body. So looks like this. High too. So it starts a lot of chi moving through your body, unlocks chakras and meridians. And now I feel very alert. And this is what I used to do before I would get into a boxing or kickboxing match, to really get myself fluid and alert so everything's moving. And there's different positions you can do it in. You can bend, you can go back, you can do one leg at a time, there's no rules except don't be so vigorous that you end up paying for it later. And just build up and practice and let your body guide you. That's the secret to everything. Reading books and doing what somebody else tells you to do often is just as much of a problem as it is good if you're not paying attention to what your body's telling you and the guidance that you're getting from the inside. Bruce Lipton says the subconscious mind is about 4 million times more powerful than the conscious ego mind. So imagine how much processing power you have if you simply spend time with yourself doing the kinds of things I showed you when I was laying down, and these kinds of simple techniques that are ancient medicine. We've been doing this forever. And if you watch an animal after they've been traumatized, you can see a cat just shaking out vigorously after a trauma, or a dog. So these are things that are really built into our nervous system and into the wisdom of our body. So enjoy rolling out and shaking out, and give yourself the gift of shaking medicine. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time. I'm Paul C.H.E.K.